put your hands together for Nigeria as you take your seats. I'd like that we settle down very quickly.
I don't know yet. I see Obasanjo sitting on his seat.
Dr. Jerry, can you please approach the Masters of Ceremony quickly, please? If you do not have any business doing in the fore, can you please move to the back? You can move to the rear, please. We want this place cleared completely. We want the whole of this place cleared completely, please. Photographers, you may take your position. Stand to the corner of this building. Please. Thank you, and thank you very much indeed. We welcome the Honorable Minister of Finance and the Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edu. We recognize your presence, the Executive Governor of Kaduna State, Senator Obasani. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm waiting to see what the chief convener and the chief host has said. Before we get this event underway, we'll have the special guest of honor, President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, ably represented at this occasion by the Secretary to Government of the Federation, Senator Dr. George Akume, CON. We also recognize the presence, the former Speaker, House of Representatives, the Right Honorable Yakubu Dogara. We welcome you, the Clerk to the National Assembly, Haji Sani Magaji Timbawa, as well as the Clerk House of Representatives, Dr. Yaya Banzaria, Esquire. Your Excellency, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria, ably represented at this occasion by Your Excellency, Senator Dr. George Akume, CON, Secretary to Government of the Federation. Please, we're trying to establish the protocol and the noise is getting very unbearable. Can we all move to the rear? Those of you that don't have any business being before, please move to the rear of these marquee, please. Gentlemen, can we please free the aisle? Everybody should please move to the back. Please move to the back, please. We have enough seats at the rear. Please, can we all take our seats as we get ready to kickstart this program? Deputy Governor of Katsina State is here, representing the Governor, His Excellency Farouk Lawal. We welcome you. Deputy Clerk, National Assembly, Barrister Kamaru Gunlana, we welcome you. Rear Admiral O.M. Olotu, Commandant, National Defense College, we welcome you. We'd like to establish the protocol to kickstart this program. Members of the press from this end would like to have some quiet, please. Thank you. Your Excellency, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria, ably represented at this occasion by the Secretary to Government of the Federation, His Excellency Senator
Dr. George Akume, CON. Your Excellency, the chief host of this event and chief convener of this event, the Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, PhD, Ian Zazo, Speaker, House of Representatives, and the Speaker of the People's House. Your Excellency, the Right Honorable Benjamin Okezie Kalu, Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Enyi Abia. Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kaduna State, Senator Uba Sani. Your Excellency, you're welcome, sir. Your Excellencies, former speakers of the House of Representatives here with us, namely the Right Honorable Aminu Bello Masari, CFR, and immediate past Governor of Katsina State. Your Excellency, the Right Honorable Yakubu Dogara, CFR, and former Speaker, House of Representatives. Former presiding officers and deputy speakers here present. The leader of the House of Representatives, Honorable Professor Julius Ihonwere, OON, principal officers of the House of Representatives here present, members of the House of Representatives, chairman of Speakers Conference and speakers of state houses of assembly here present, members of the Federal Executive Council. With us here are ministers of Information and National Orientation, Minister of Finance, and the coordinating Minister of the Economy. Other ministers here with us, the Chairman, National Assembly Service Commission, Clerk to the National Assembly, Alhaji Sani Magaji Tambuwal, leading the management team of the National Assembly to this open week. Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, the Executive Director of Policy and Legislative Advocacy Center, Clement Nwankwo Esquire, the Country Representative Conrad Adnoa Stiftung, Marija Peran, and members of your team, development partners, heads of public and private organizations present, my Lord, spiritual and temporal, heads of civil society organizations, rapporteurs, great Nigerian citizens present, and those of you watching from home, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen of the press. I'm not walking alone here this morning. I'm walking alongside my colleague and brother, Datsu Taveshima, and my name is Andy Gabriel. But just before we move on, permit me to mention that we have ambassadors and high commissioners of various countries here, starting with the High Commissioner of the United Kingdom to Nigeria, Mr. Richard Montgomery, the Ambassador of India, the Ambassador of Canada, the Ambassador of Norway, as well as the Ambassador of China, respectively. We'd like to welcome all of you to this epoch-making event in the life of the 10th National Assembly. In welcoming you to the People's House, the House of Representatives Open Week 2024, this initiative for this program is of particular significance as we celebrate the 25 years of uninterrupted representative democracy in Nigeria. And thus, this initiative will go a long way to providing a veritable platform for the legislature and citizens to reflect on our democratic journey, x-raying the challenges and aspirations for the future. This speaks to the essence of Ease Open Week 2024. It is my fervent hope that at the end of this Open Week, we as a people will see the greater need to work collectively together to building a more virile, inclusive, and an open parliament for Nigeria. It is therefore my honor and privilege, just before we get started in earnest, to then invite someone to quickly give us our security briefing. Mrs. Fumi Adegbola, on behalf of the Committee for Safety Standards and Regulations, please come give us security briefing before we commence this program in earnest. Safety briefing, please. Mrs. Adegbola.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This safety brief is powered by the House Committee on Safety Standards and Regulations. Please note that there are no planned drills today, so in the event of any emergency, we're expected to evacuate this space in an orderly and safe manner, using the 3 exits, 1 right behind you and 2 on your sides, where you will have designated officials waiting to usher you to the alternative muster point. In the event of any medical emergencies, or you become unwell at any point during this event, you may wish to step outside where there is an ambulance and medical professionals waiting to support you. And lastly, for convenience, if you do require the restrooms, there are quite a few next to us. At the main gate, that's the National Assembly main gate, there are toilets there. There's also at the entrance of the White House, you would find convenience or restrooms there. At the entrance of the House of Rep, you'd find that there as well, similarly to the entrance of the Senate buildings as well. Once again, we wish you a lovely deliberation on behalf of the Safety Standards and Regulations Committee. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I was expecting an applause for her. Can we give her a resounding applause, please, as we make progress? The representative of the High Commissioner, British High Commissioner to Nigeria is Gil Leeward, Deputy High Commissioner chargé the affairs. We'd like to welcome you. Thank you so very much for coming. We just want to inform you that this program is live on national televisions as well as the National Assembly television, and you can also reach them streaming live on House of Representatives on YouTube, NAS TV on Facebook, or House of Representatives on Facebook, NAS TV, House of Representatives YouTube channels, respectively. It is on this note, Your Excellencies, standing by the already established protocol, that we then want to invite the second in command of the House of Representatives, the number 2 man in the House of Representatives, His Excellency, the Right Honorable Benjamin Okezie-Kalu Enyabia, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, to then most formally come to the podium to welcome all of us to this event. Can we please applaud him with a resounding applause as he makes his way to the podium? The Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives, sir.
Your Excellency, the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, ably represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, His Excellency Senator Dr. George Akume Owen, the Chief Host and Convener of this event, my brother and my friend, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, PhD, Yan Zhao Zhao. Please permit me to stand on the existing protocol, which has been well established by the MC, especially for want of time. On behalf of the House of Representatives, I warmly welcome you all to the Open Week 2024. As the People's House, we understand the importance of transparency and public engagement. This week is dedicated to engendering a more inclusive and democratic legislative process that truly reflects our constituents' needs and voices. I must highlight that the visionary leadership of the Speaker, my own brother and friend, Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, PhD, the Yan Zhao Zhao, deserves immense praise. This inclusive approach, ensuring all voices are heard, is a model for effective governance. The hard work and ingenuity of the entire 10th House leadership is truly commendable. It is a privilege to collaborate with them in delivering the transformative potential of the 8-point legislative agenda. This 8-point agenda focuses on strengthening good governance by promoting transparency, promoting accountability, and the rule of law, improving national security to ensure the safety of all Nigerians, modernizing and strengthening our legal framework, stimulating economic growth and job creation, investing in education, healthcare, and other essential services, enhancing public participation in the legislative process, promoting Nigerians' interests on the global stage, and protecting our environment for future generations. Let me take a moment to acknowledge the remarkable achievement of the 10th House during its first year. We witnessed the introduction of a record-breaking 1351 bills, showcasing our commitment to legislative efficiency and effectiveness. This surpasses the number of bills introduced in the first section since 1999. Additionally, the House considered a staggering 679 motions, demonstrating our active engagement on a wide range of issues. As you all know, our legislative agenda prioritizes economic empowerment and diversification, a crucial step to reducing Nigerians' dependence on oil exports. Key bills within this agenda include the Electricity Act Amendment Bill of 2023, which aims to enhance the efficiency and sustainability of our electricity sector by promoting investment in renewable energy sources. We are also committed to strengthening financial oversight and transparency with the Federal Audit Service Act Amendment Bill 2023, ensuring better management of public funds and a significant reduction in corruption. We are also committed to fostering regional development initiative. The Niger Delta Development Commission Act Amendment Bill of 2023 focuses on enhancing development initiative in the Niger Delta, promoting environmental sustainability and economic growth. Similarly, the Southeast Development Commission Establishment Bill of 2023 establishes a framework for regional development in the Southeast, addressing infrastructure deficit and stimulating socio-economic growth. The Nigerian Medical Research Council Establishment Bill 2023 supports advancement in medical research, ultimately improving healthcare delivery and tackling public health challenges. We haven't overlooked education either, with several motions passed to improve educational standard, ensure better access to quality education, and enhance human capital development. Thus, we are proud to highlight the passage of the Access to Higher Education Act 2023, which is the Student Loan Act, recently signed into law by His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. This vital legislation will significantly increase access to university education for deserving Nigerian students, and we commend President Tinubu for his commitment in this regard. The House also conducted a commendable 107 oversight, visit and inspection across ministries, departments, and agencies. This commitment to oversight ensures that government programs are implemented effectively, efficiently, and in line with legislative intent. Notably, the House Committee on Health Institutions conducted a significant portion of this visit, focusing on assessing the performance of the 2023 budget implementation and capital project execution. Building strong partnership is essential for our work. Thus, we must continue to work with civil society organizations like CONRAD, like YAGA, like PLAC, the International Republican Institute, the IRI, and the Institute for Democratic Engagement and Accountability, IDEA, to deepen engagement with all Nigerians, including those with disability. At this juncture, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to the various committees and their respective leadership for their tireless efforts that contribute to the general success of the House of Representatives. Their dedication and expertise are invaluable. I also want to take a moment to appreciate our esteemed members in general, the members of the House of Representatives. Despite the challenges, you have remained committed to your mandate and dedicated to fulfilling the desires of your constituents. Your service is highly commendable. To conclude, I sincerely thank all our partners who have made this open week possible. And let me also thank again the Speaker of the House of Representatives for being focused and being dedicated and committed to transparent leadership, accountable leadership, which remains the ethos of our democracy. Together, through open dialogue and collaboration, we can build a stronger, we can build a more representative democracy. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Setting the tone for this open week, Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives, the Right Honorable Benjamin Okezie Kalu. Can we please applaud him one more time? I recognize your presence, Honorable Abubakar Bichi, Chairman, House of Representatives Committee on Appropriations. Moving on very quickly, would like to, at this juncture, because of the exigencies of his office, we'll be inviting our special guest of honor, President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, represented at this occasion by none other than a former governor of Benue State, former senator, former minister of special duties, and sits very tall today as the Secretary to Government of the Federation, Your Excellency, Senator Dr. George Akume, CUON. Standing in for the President, can we please give him a resounding applause and a standing ovation as he comes to the podium for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's speech. That applause for him can come even louder than that. Your Excellency, the President, sir.
Please be seated. Be seated, please. Your Excellencies, honorable members, please let me formally inform you. I represent President who would have loved to be here. And you know, he is also a legislator, but he's involved in some other equally engaging patriotic assignments. I think he sent me here principally because I'm also one of you. The Speaker, House of Representatives, His Excellency, the Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, PhD. Your Excellency, the Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu, the Deputy Speaker, former presiding officers here present, His Excellency Naimino Bello Masari. So recognize His Excellency Dogwera. I recognize also in a special way other principal officers of the House of Representatives are here present. Your Excellency, my younger brother, Senator Obasani, Governor of Kaduna State, is accompanied by his deputy, the deputy from Katsina State. Honorable members of the House of Representatives, members of the Federal Executive Council, particularly ministers of finance and information, members of the diplomatic corps, distinguished invited guests, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great pleasure to stand before you, Mr. Speaker, Deputy Speaker, honorable members, to deliver this message on behalf of Mr. President Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. It is a message that speaks to the essence of unity, purpose, and inclusive nation building. Let me begin by extending my warm greetings and best wishes to all of you at the commencement of this year's House of Representatives Legislative Open Week. The chosen theme, improving inclusion through citizens' engagement, is apt, timely, and vital because it underpins the importance of not just the need for executive legislative collaboration, but also the significance of effective oversight for greater accountability to all Nigerians that elected us into office in different capacities. Our gathering here today, I must say, is happening at a critical point of our nation's journey to greatness. The challenges before us demand collective efforts that obliterate political differences and all forms of collaborations. Through meaningful and purposeful engagement, circumstances that demand that the executive and legislature must be building a truly inclusive nation. A nation that gives the citizens the urge to participate. A nation where laws and policies aim at development and where effective oversight ensures transparency and accountability. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, a nation experiences development only when the citizenry actively engages in the democratic process. It therefore behoves on us to create platforms for them to voice their concerns, participate in policy formulation, elections, and hold us, their representatives, accountable. We must do so in a combination of ways because not all citizens have the means to come to Abuja. We must engage through town hall meetings, public consultations, and this is done by the legislature through public hearings and so on. And also deploy robust technology platforms. We must make it a point of duty to practice representative democracy that promotes total commitment to governance that is transparent, inclusive, and accountable at all times. I equally wish to emphasize that through citizen engagement, we, the representatives and leaders, gain deeper understanding of the issues of concern to the electorate, which in turn allows us to craft policies and introduce legislation that truly reflects their needs and aspirations. I must add that in a thriving democracy, citizen participation is paramount. This enhances the legitimacy of our institutions and ensures that governance reflects the diverse perspectives and needs of all Nigerians. This Open Week is an exemplary initiative that embodies these values, providing platform for dialogue, reflection, and mutual understanding between the government and the governed. Let me assure you, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, that under my leadership, the executive stands ready to work collaboratively with the legislature to create the needed legislative framework that fosters inclusion. This encapsulates pushing policies and enacting laws that promote equal opportunity, access to essential services, and representation in decision-making process. Collaborative efforts and mutual respect can only result in development that truly benefits all citizens. I wish to mention at this point that a robust system of checks and balances is essential for a healthy democracy. The legislature's oversight function is vital in ensuring accountability and transparency by the executive. This oversight mandate and attendant processes really helps the executive to shed light on potential shortcomings and to identify areas that need improvement. I have no doubt in my mind that open communication and collaboration between the executive and the legislature will foster a more positive and productive oversight process. At this juncture, I must commend the Right Honorable Speaker and all members of the House of Representatives for their dedication to fostering transparency and accountability in the last 25 uninterrupted years of our democratic journey. Your efforts in promoting an open parliament are instrumental in empowering citizens and reinforcing trust in our democratic institutions. You have done well for this great constitutional institution and for country as well. Finally, I wish to remind us all that building an inclusive nation is not a solitary journey for one branch of government. And this Open Week serves as a powerful reminder of our responsibilities to all citizens. I thank all of you immensely for your kind attention. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Can we please put our hands together as loud as we can make it for the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, speaking through the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Thank you, and thank you very much. Let me invite the Speaker, the Governors, the Deputy Speaker, and those of you on the front row to please, CNASA and the former speakers, please join them for a photograph outside. and principal officers, as well as members of a diplomatic community only. Please join him for a photograph. Honorable ministers, former speakers, please let's join the SGF at that foyer outside for a group photograph. We're also inviting the governor of Kaduna State to join in doing this, and then the honorable ministers as well. Clerk to the National Assembly, as well as the Clerk House of Representatives.
And meanwhile, the rest of us, please remain in our seats as we wait for the next segment of this very important gathering. The next will be goodwill messages. The rest of us, please, let's remain where we are. The group photograph is just for the representative of His Excellency, the President, the Commander-in-Chief, the Speaker, House of Representatives, and of course, other principal officers, with the Executive Governor of Kaduna State. The rest of us, please, let's remain where we are. Just a few minutes, we'll come back and continue with the rest of the items on the program, please.
Meanwhile, we recognize your presence, Honorable Ikenga Ugochinyere. We welcome you. We also recognize your presence, Honorable Yaleman. Thank you so very much for being here. We recognize your presence, Alhaji Abubakar Mairago. We'd like to appreciate you, a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress and a member of the cabinet of the government of Kaduna State. We welcome you, sir. We also recognize the management team from the National Assembly, Permanent Secretary Finance, and Permanent Secretary Protocol and Interparliamentary Relations. We welcome both of you, sirs. Honorable Yusuf Abubakar Mairago, we welcome you. Former Executive Secretary, Petroleum Development Trust Fund, we welcome you, sir. Talking about the permanent secretaries that are here that I can see, Mr. Clement Inyang, Secretary of Finance, and Mr. Godwin Ekbayong, PAMSEC, Protocol and Interparliamentary Relations. As soon as they are done with the photographs and they join us in this auditorium, we will then kickstart the second segment, which has to do with the goodwill messages. Honorable Abimbola Ayo Yusuf, Honorable Chief Commissioner, Public Complaints Commission, we welcome you. I'd also like to prepare the minds of the Executive Director Plaque to be on standby, as well as the representative of Comrade Adnoa Steve Tongue. Please be on standby as we welcome back to this auditorium the chief convener of this program, the Speaker, House of Representatives, Speaker of the People's House, the speaking Speaker, and the Governor of Kaduna State, very prudent manager of resources, Senator Ubasani. welcome you back. We also welcome back the former presiding officers of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Aminu Bello Masari, CFR, and Right Honorable Yakubu Dogara, and the Honorable Ministers of Information and Minister of Finance. We also welcome back. Honorable members, can we please settle down? Thank you very much. Please, let's settle down. We welcome back the Deputy Speaker.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may we please take our seats as we move to the next item on the program, which will be the goodwill messages, please. May I please have your attention as I first invite for the goodwill messages. I'd like to invite Mr. The Exec. Plaque is one of the greatest supporters of the growth of democracy in this country. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may we please put our hands together as I invite
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I will stick with protocols already established. I'd like to congratulate His Excellency, the Speaker of the House of Representatives and the Deputy Speaker on the occasion of the marking.
Please, one house, please. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we're taking the goodwill messages, and the man is on stage. Please, one house, please. Thank you.
I'd like to congratulate the Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, on the occasion of the marking of 25 years of the legislature in the Fourth Republic. The silver anniversary of any particular occurrence or event is worth celebrating. And I think that for a lot of us in Nigeria who have come from several years of military dictatorship, it is really very key for us that we mark the occasion of having, for the first time in our history, the legislature exist continuously for 25 years. The question is, the question, though, is also, should there be more for us to celebrate? Should we, in fact, be celebrating? I'm sure that the answer is yes, but are we satisfied that in celebrating 25 years of legislature, that this country has been able to make the best of 25 years of the legislature, which means the absence of a dictatorship? It's been a mixed bag for all of us, I think. The legislature has shown its strong ability to legislate, and the Deputy Speaker has reeled out some of the work that the 10th National Assembly has done in terms of legislative work. And we all understand that in any democracy, the key contributions of the legislature is its ability to hold government to account and be able to ensure that public funds are very well utilized for the benefit of development and the people. But we also know that the country's situation at the present time is a very, very difficult one. We also know that this country's present economic circumstance and crisis is a very challenging one for a lot of us. So while we may be here celebrating, there are lots of our citizens, lots of our people who are asking the question really whether we should be celebrating, given that the hopes, the expectations that democracy holds for them is yet to be realized. And I think it's something that is so very important for us as a legislature to also have the challenge that for a lot of people, they may actually themselves be broken and be unserved by the democracy that we currently practice. So it is my expectation that the National Assembly, the House of Representatives, that is the people's house, understands this very clearly and understands that citizens' expectations are not yet fully met, and that citizens expect a lot more to be done to improve their condition of living. When we make demands on the legislature, we also expect that the legislature would respond to some of these demands and be able to help in getting citizens to understand this. We had expected that in celebrating 25 years of legislature, that in fact this particular event would have happened within the chambers of the National Assembly. Unfortunately, that is not the case, and so we are celebrating in this canopy. The whole idea of the People's House of Representatives is that it is the People's House and that the people can come into the legislature and be able to have the members of the legislature listen to us. I think that if our democracy is to survive, the legislature needs to do much more to ensure that the executive is held to account, that its responsibilities of oversight are thoroughly carried out, and that the ability of citizens to feel represented by the legislature needs to be really very evident. So as we go on to the next 25 years and more, we hope and work and support the National Assembly to be able to do so much more. But I must commend the National Assembly. The 10th has done quite a lot to be able, the 10th House of Representatives has done a lot. It has a legislative agenda. I am sure there will be an opportunity to review the success of the legislative agenda of the 10th House of Representatives. But I must say, speaking on behalf of a lot of us from civil society, there is still a lot to be done, and citizens are currently in desperate situation, and we do hope that the National Assembly will help to ameliorate the conditions that we find ourselves in. Distinguished Right Honorable Speaker, Deputy Speaker, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you so very much. The Executive Director Plaque, like I said earlier, he has been very, very supportive for the growth of democracy in this country. May I please once again remind us that we are on national television and live. So please let's observe some decorum. With due respect, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Please let's take our seats, maintain silence, and listen to the goodwill messages. Please. Please, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Start from, please. Good messages to be given to us by the representative of Conrad Adenauer, Stefan, please. We'd like you to please approach the podium and give us your good message on behalf of your organization, please. Is the representative of Conrad here, please? The representative of the British High Commission is here with us for the goodwill message. Representative of the British High Commission is here. Thank you so very much. May we please put our hands together for the representative of the British High Commissioner.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Jill Lever. I'm the Chargé d'Affaires at the UK High Commission here in Abuja. His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Executive Governor of Kaduna State, Excellencies, Honourables, and members and colleagues of the diplomatic community, civil society, and NGOs listening patiently in the back, permit me to stand on existing protocols. I very much appreciate the invitation to deliver a goodwill message today at this monumental event. It's symbolic that the event is taking place in what can be considered the theatre of Nigeria's democracy, the People's House. The UK is glad to be joining Nigeria in celebrating a quarter century of unbroken democratic rule, 25 years of uninterrupted representative democracy. In a world of instability and contestation, it is no mean achievement. This legislative open week exemplifies the essence of democracy. It illustrates the contract between citizens and their elected representatives, which is the foundation stone of any democracy. I commend the leadership and members of the House of Representatives for the initiative. As Africa's largest democracy, the consolidation of democratic values and practice matters not only for Nigerian citizens, but for the African continent and beyond. Despite coups and instability and disruption, we know that the people of Africa see democracy as the way forward for the continent. Their support for democracy and for democratic institutions is enduring. The past quarter of a century shows Nigeria's dedication to democratic norms and how it has strived to respond to the diverse aspirations of its people. Core to this has been the role of the legislature. The National Assembly, the cornerstone of representative governance, has been instrumental in helping to ensure that the voice of Nigeria's citizens are heard. The UK is very proud of our strong relationship with Nigeria. We are proud to be partners in your democratic journey, but we know that truly representative democracy can be a bumpy road. Winston Churchill said some years ago now that democracy was the worst form of government, except for all the others. And we can see the truth of what he was saying even today. So we're proud of our partnership with Nigeria. We're going to continue to support the important work of the National Assembly through our partnership with PLAC, the Policy and Legal Advocacy Centre, because of the success of Nigeria's democracy is in our heart and minds. We're encouraged by the outcomes of the partnership in the 10th National Assembly. That includes the establishment of a legislative agenda, electoral forms, all important constitutional amendment processes, and work on civil society and donor coordination. Good progress is being made, particularly under the Honourable Speaker of the House. As Nigeria looks to its future, the next 25 years and beyond present an opportunity for Nigeria to continue playing its leadership in the region, on the African continent, and on the global stage in championing democratic values. And a fully empowered parliament is fundamental to that process. We understand that true democracies take time. It's evolution, not revolution. We don't always get this right, including in the UK. But I've been very encouraged to see that issues such as increasing women's political participation is a key component in the agenda of the House of Representatives and the current proposals for constitutional amendment. We have more to do as the UK on women's political empowerment, but I would encourage the National Assembly to approach this matter with open minds and looking very openly at the evidence of the benefits of more women in the National Assembly. As a long-term partner, you have the UK's goodwill and support as you play your role in progressing Nigeria's democracy. I'm honoured to be asked to witness milestone today. Congratulations once again from the UK people to the people of Nigeria on your Silver Jubilee. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Speaking there on behalf of Mr. Richard Montgomery, the British High Commissioner to Nigeria. Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to recognize the arrival of His Senator Dr. Godswill Obot-Akpabio, CON, President of the Senate, ably represented here by the Deputy Majority Leader of the Senate, distinguished Senator Lola Ashiru. We'd like to welcome you, please. Put your hands together to welcome him, please. I'd also like to quickly recognize some of the permanent secretaries, management team of the National Assembly that are here on the entourage of the clerk to the National Assembly. Engineer Babasanda Liman is Permanent Secretary, Procurement and Supplies. We'd like to welcome you, sir. We also recognize the presence of Barrister Birma Shuaibu Maina, Permanent Secretary, Human Resources and Staff Development. We welcome you. Alhaji Yusuf Tambawal is a Chief of Staff to the Clark National Assembly. Engineer Bashir Aminu Yaro, Permanent Secretary, Estate and Works, National Assembly. We welcome all of you. More goodwill messages.
Thank you so very much, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. But just before we proceed, I'd like to also recognize the presence of the Chief of Staff to the President of the Senate, Barrister Sylvester Okonko, recognize you. So, Okonko. And then next, for the goodwill messages, we have the Speaker of your State House of Assembly, who chairs also as the Chairman of Conference of Speakers for his goodwill message. Please, let's put our hands together for the Speaker of your State House of Assembly.
Good afternoon, distinguished honorable guest. Yeah, I'd like to recognize the president in absentia, who was ably represented by the SGF, His Excellency George Akume. It's also very important to recognize the Senate President, here present, ably represented by His Excellency, the distinguished Lola Ashiru. Also, to the ever-innovative and dynamic Speaker of the National Assembly, His Excellency, Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, you're welcome, sir. And of course, to my own personal person, also here present, the Deputy Speaker of the Federal House of Representatives, His Excellency Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu. You're here, welcome. Principal officers of the National Assembly here present. Of course, I would have to especially recognize the former speakers of various state houses of assembly who are now representing in the House of Representatives. Also, the former chairman of the Conference of Speakers of State Legislature here present, Right Honorable Gaba. That's the former speaker of Gombe State House of Assembly, former speaker of Kaduna House of Assembly here present here. You have switched to the federal level, but we are happy for you. The Right Honorable speakers here present, the deputy speaker, the deputy chairman of the Conference of Speakers of State Legislature here present, that's the speaker of Katsina State. You're welcome. And also, the longest serving state legislature in the whole of the country, at least at par with anybody else, who is also the speaker of Yobe State House of Assembly. You are welcome. He's been a member of the House since 1999, actually, to date. I want to use this opportunity to say that the theme, improving inclusion through citizen engagement, is apt. I'm sorry if there's one person that I have to. If not, we will not receive any favor from the Nigeria Governors Forum. That is His Excellency, the Governor of Kaduna State here present, always giving support to the legislature. His Excellency Obasani, you're welcome, sir. As I continue, the theme, improving inclusion through citizen engagement, is apt for this historic legislative open week, especially at this very moment in time in our dear state. I was talking to the speaker earlier, and I mentioned that the open week is very important, especially for the legislative houses of assembly, and I have personally promised to also replicate the same thing in Oyo State, and I'm sure other speakers will follow suit. As we celebrate the 25th year of uninterrupted representative of democracy in our dear nation, it is important to further strengthen our commitment to citizen engagement and inclusive governance. we must realize that inclusion and citizen engagement are essential components of democratic governance. This program attests to the fact that we have all acknowledged and recognized the importance of citizen participation in legislative process and the need for the open parliament. It is important that we provide more platforms and avenues for the citizens to engage with leaders and their representatives, ask questions, and contribute constructively to improve the quality of decision-making process. Through this, we will foster a culture of transparency, accountability, thereby enhancing citizens' understanding of legislative processes. I must say that the importance of collaboration between the national and state legislature in strengthening citizen engagement and inclusive governance cannot be overemphasized. Therefore, I want to specially recognize and appreciate the effort of the Right Honorable Speaker Tajuddin Abbas and his deputy, Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu, and the entire leadership and members of the House of Representatives for their inclusiveness in the legislative activities of the 10th National Assembly. We've never had it this good. From the State House of Assembly, the collaborative effort with the National Assembly, I want to encourage you to continue to follow in this step. And I can assure you that the results will pay good dividend. As Conference of Speakers of State Legislatures, we are ready to work with the National Assembly and other stakeholders for a harmonized approach to citizen engagement and inclusive governance. We will strive in our respective state assemblies to create more enabling environment for citizens' participation in governance in order to ensure that their voices are heard. Let us continue to work together to build a Nigeria that is truly by the people, for the people, and truly of the people. In conclusion, we must recognize that our democracy is a work in progress. Hence, we must continually improve the process and strengthen our institutions to better serve the people. I wish us all a fruitful engagement, legislative open week. May our collective effort strengthen our democracy and build a better future for our great nation. Long live Nigeria Legislature, long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you so very much. The Honorable Speaker of your State House of Assembly and Chairman, Conference of Speakers of Nigeria. We recognize you. Thank you so much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, very quickly before we move to invite the next speaker for the goodwill message, I'd like to make just two announcements. The first announcement is to once again inform us that outside of this hall, we have our mobile toilets for the male and female in case of any emergency. I'd also like to recognize at this point the Permanent Secretary Research Information of the National Assembly, Dr. Ali Barde Umoru. Sir, we recognize you, my Permanent Secretary. I also like to recognize the Permanent Secretary Health. Permanent Secretary Health, Dr. Bashir Hamza, we recognize you. At this point, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we now move to invite the #1 civil servant of the National Assembly, and that's the clerk to the National Assembly, Alhaji Sani Magaji Tamboa, FCNA, to please give us his goodwill message. Please, let's put our hands together for the clerk to the National Assembly.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. The President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, ably represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, the President of the Senate, ably represented by the Deputy Majority Leader, Senator Bashir, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives, the principal officers of the House, the executive governors and deputies here present, the principal officers of the House, the honorable members of the House of Representatives, the management team of the National Assembly, please permit me to stand on the existing protocol at this point. I'm very pleased to be part of this Legislative Open Week initiative organized by the 10th House of Representatives, 10th House of Representatives collaboration with the development partners. This indeed is a groundbreaking affair that will not only help to bridge the information gap between the legislature and the public, and also reduce the negative public perception about the National Assembly. Let me salute your courage and commitment to deepening democracy and fostering inclusivity in our beloved country, Nigeria, through Legislative Open Week, which is an integral part of the 10th House of Representatives legislative agenda. This engagement on improving inclusion through citizen engagement is both timely and pivotal, as it demonstrates your commitment to creating a legislative framework that genuinely represents the voice and the needs of the people. Furthermore, this noble endeavor is a testament to our dedication to empowering the people and strengthening the bedrock of our democracy. We are deeply confident that your engagement with citizens, development partners, and the wider public during the Legislative Open Week will be marked by a wise, collaborative, and inclusive spirit. Together, let us work towards building a Nigeria that is just, equitable, and prosperous for all. May this effort lead to a more participatory democracy where every citizen has a sense of belonging, equal opportunities to thrive. I fervently hope your legislative decision and action will yield a lasting and impactful result that uplift and transform our nation and people. As a legislative bureaucracy, we shall continue to facilitate the lawmaking process with our support services. We sincerely appreciate and commend your effort, and we are grateful for this opportunity. Thank you very much, and we wish you a very fruitful legislative week. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Clerk to the National Assembly. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we've heard enough of the goodwill messages, but just before we draw the curtains on this particular program, item on the program, we have the two speakers who once spoke for this house to give us their last goodwill messages for this opening ceremony. And to start with that, we would like to invite, in order of preference, the Right Honorable Speaker, who was here for, I think about 8 years ago, or 10, the Right Honorable Aminu Bello Masari, to please approach the podium, to please talk, and after that, we invite the next speaker. Please, let's put our hands together for him, please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Your Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces, who was represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, Your Excellency, the President of the Senate, ably represented by the Deputy Majority Leader, our host and convener, the Speaker, House of Representatives, Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives, Your Excellency, the Governor of Katsina, the governor of Kaduna State, senator who was also a parliamentarian, and my own deputy governor all the way from Katsina representing the governor of Katsina State, Malam Farouk Jobe, my colleague, a former Speaker Dogara. I think the MC was referring to him that he left here about 8 years ago. I left 17 years ago. So it was a long time. Honorable Ministers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the House Leader who is, you know, I was on the other side, he was on the other side before. But now he has joined our club, the House Leader, Professor. Honorable members and principal officers of the House of Representatives, members of the diplomatic corps, civil society organizations, members of the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Well, let me start by congratulating the Speaker for being innovative and his entire principal officers for once again putting the House on the map of legislative activities in the country. If I can remember, this is almost the third time I've been attending a public function organized by the House of Representatives, and this is commendable. Now, coming back to the issue of inclusion, improving inclusion. You know, this word inclusion in democracy is wide and big. I think, Mr. Speaker, if I had known that I would give a remark, maybe I could have come with a written statement, but all the same, this inclusion should start from bottom up. I know we have found ourselves in a very difficult situation because engagement with the citizens, participation in legislative activities from the constituencies is very important because it gives people information of what is going on rather than hearing on the airwaves from the media. It is very important that we cultivate the issue of interactive engagement at our constituency level. Because I was listening even to the speech of the president who was saying that engagement is not only in Abuja, but is from the grassroots, the constituencies, to Abuja. That is bottom-up approach. I'm happy that the Speaker of Oyo State House of Assembly said he's going to copy and replicate what is going on here in Oyo. I think that will be cascading it a little bit down, but I hope your colleagues in the House will take it up and cascade it to the level of constituency. Despite all the harassment, just Mr. Speaker, I think it's an opportunity again. We are talking about 25 years of democracy, 25 years of unbroken civil rule, yes. 25 years in the life of a person is very important in something, but in the life of a nation is work in progress. But there is need to always look back and see what have we done and where are we going. As I said in one of the lectures to mark the 25 years of democracy, that of the survey conducted, 70% of Nigerians prefer democracy to any form of government. However, 77% of those 70% are not happy with the way we are going. So I think it's something that we should look at ourselves and say, where have we gone wrong? What are we not doing right? How can we make corrections? Even the former president, President Jonathan Goodluck, in his speech, he said the behavior of leaders, we need to change our behavior as leaders. You cannot go to a ceremony or your children or your spouses spraying money. This is what the former president said. So this week is an opportunity for self-searching. Democracy can only continue to thrive and survive if we continue to do what is right. If the people see that democracy is adding value to their lives, because democracy as an idea is good, but like I said earlier, you cannot eat an idea. You have to practicalize it. The dividends of democracy must be seen on ground. So, Mr. Speaker, I congratulate you. You have taken the pains, honorable colleagues of the House. You are the mirror of democracy. You are the mirror of legislation. The institution of legislature is number one in the hierarchy of democracy. People see you in the constituencies more than they see other political appointees. People look up to you more than they look up to other political appointees. So a lot is expected from you. "25 years. Now we have young men and women who were born, or those who grew up not knowing any form of government except democracy. So please don't give them opportunity to think there's any system of government that is better than this one. Please, we should not do that. Democracy, participation of the people is the best form of government. You know, even late Chief Obafemi Awolowo said, the worst civilian government is better than the best military government. But the younger generation of voters, who are now going to 60% of those voting, do not know they can be adventurous. God forbid. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you so very much, former Speaker Aminu Bello Masari, CFR. So we so much appreciate your words, former Speaker. We so much appreciate your words of wisdom and encouragement. Thank you so very much. To save time, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we'll move again to invite another speaker, former Speaker of this House, and that's the Right Honorable Yakubu Dogara, CFR, to also talk to us, and of course, maybe share experiences and also encourage us. Please, let's put our hands together for Yakubu Dogara, CFR.
Thank you very much. His Excellency, the President, more than ably represented by the SGF, Senator Dr. George Akume, the host of this event, our leader, serving Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Right Honorable Dr. Abbas Tajuddin, His Excellency the Deputy Speaker, our brother, the Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu, His Excellency the Governor of Kaduna State, my boss and leader, the Speaker of the Fifth Assembly, the man we've just listened to, His Excellency Governor Masari, members of the Federal Executive Council, of course, I've recognized my colleagues, principal officers, and members of the House of Representatives who are seated here, honorable ministers of information and finance, the clerk to the National Assembly. I think the protocol is far too much that trying to follow through may amount to a joke. Permit me to say, let me hide under the established protocol. For me, once my boss and leader had spoken, I thought that should end the matter, because even speakers have their own speakers. But since you've decided to call me, and since I was enabled in this house and given a platform to speak for the house, I would never shy away from joining in the discourse. But first of all, let me thank the Speaker and the leadership of the House for enabling us to come back to our constituency, which is the House of Representatives, and for deciding that it is time to hand over the House of Representatives to the people who are truly the owners of the House, and it is called the People's House. I like the commitment of the present leadership to issues of engagement with the citizens. And it is like deciding that this is not an imperial house. It is the house of the people. And if there's any major malady affecting our democracy, is the collapse or failure of rational conversation. There's no platform where you can genuinely engage Nigerians to rationally converse. The moment you throw up a topic, it's like risking hubris. And you don't know where this hubris is coming from. And it is hubris mingled with ignorance. And where you have the merger of the two, it's like marrying Godzilla to Frankenstein. No conversation anywhere outside of decent settings like this makes sense anymore. It's either we're resorting to our fault lines, oh, this is a Hausa man talking, this is an Igbo man talking. Attacks begin to come from all angles. So it's been one of those major things afflicting our democracy, failure to have rational conversation. Secondly, when we come for events like this, it is not only good for us to speak for the people as representatives of the people. It's not good enough to always consistently talk to the people. We must talk with the people. And it is forums like this that gives us the opportunity to engage with the people, not to speak for the people or talk to the people. And at forums like this, I suggest, Mr. Speaker, that nothing should be off limits when it comes to citizens' engagement. No topic should be off limit. Both the things that are good, the pleasant, even the ones that are not too pleasant, we should open up the space to engage in those conversations. And if I'm not going to sound controversial or stir the hornet's nest, sincerely speaking, you will indulge me some time. I didn't beg to speak, you invited me to speak. So let me say something that is nudging in my heart. The issue of how funds are processed in the National Assembly has been on the front burners of national discourse for quite a long time. And I think it is time for us to throw this challenge to our citizens without hiding anything. Not that they think National Assembly is hiding anything, no. You see, the reason why they keep harping or hitting at this soft spot, it is because those doing this know very well that institutions such as this institution of the National Assembly will be ineffective if they are subjected to public scorn. So therefore, they call us by names that we have not given ourselves. Oh, these thieves, these humongous allowances that they take home, and so on and so forth. You see, I was in the function of the National Assembly. Maybe one or two of us here can testify in one of our neighboring states here. Your Excellency, I will say something, but don't say I'm challenging the governors. The governor of Kaduna is seated here. So we were closing a management retreat. And then our host, who was the governor of the state, got up and to our faces was saying to us that we are thieves. And as a matter of fact, he was chastising the management for helping to cover up for us and then trying to protect us. So as that fora, as I would always do, I calmly listened to him. Thankfully, as speaker then, I had the last word. So when I got up to speak, I said, Your Excellency, you are an elder brother. I regard you as an elder brother in all respect. And we are all intellectuals here. You are even a senior intellectual. I am the junior intellectual. But as intellectuals, we don't join issues. So I'm not joining issues with you. But I will expand the issue you have raised. I said, for instance, now that you are campaigning for openness regarding finances of the National Assembly, would you lead this campaign among your colleague governors to publish monthly how much they take as security votes and how they spend it? And I said, again, expand this to issues of local government funds, the joint account the governors run. Publish it monthly. How much accrue to the account and how it is spent. And I tell you, I have taken the challenge before you. I will return to National Assembly. You are saying that our budgets are opaque. I will ensure that the National Assembly budget is released. And for the very first time, I got back to Abuja, called the clerk to the National Assembly. I said, release the breakdown of the National Assembly budget. It was then people beginning to see our bodies drawing from the budget of the National Assembly. Okay, this is for Senate, this is for House, this is for management, this is for National Assembly Service Commission, this is for Public Complaints Commission, this is for this, for this, for this. And they had forgotten that we have mammoths of aids that draw from this money that accrues to National Assembly. So what he did, since he's a very clever person, what he did was to publish his own salary. I now called the clerk. I said, okay, go and publish what the speaker earns as well. I don't know whether they have increased it, Mr. Speaker. But when I was there, my salary was not up to 400,000 naira a month. So a young man in my constituency said, what is this thing about number 4 in Nigeria? You mean this is your salary? I can even hire you to work for me. So, you see, even when we talk about the allowances that people think they are humongous, too much money. Mr. Speaker, forgive me, the House will forgive me. Let me say this, and I'm saying it because it is the truth. My allowances, everything as a speaker then, was 25 million naira. I don't know if Alhaji Atiku is here. He was my accountant. I asked him, open an account for this money because I know that this money is not mine. Expectation from the constituents, expectation even from the members that think, oh, you are first among equals, so you should have more than the equal. And honestly speaking, there was never a time I took 1 naira out of that account home. So it is not a take home. You can never take it home, no matter how stingy you are. As a matter of fact, there was never a time that money lasted 3 days. Never. I'm saying this also that even honorable members who are here should let the deputy speaker and the speaker breathe. I'm saying it from the bottom of my heart. Atiku is here. He can swear to anything and say whether that money even lasted up to 3 days. One day he came to me to say that, Speaker, you cannot continue like this. In accounting, we call this balance sheet insolvency. We are insolvent. I say, what is the cure to insolvency? It's money. I say, okay, if we don't have, once I give you approval, borrow. When the money comes next time, make sure that you fill whatever hole you have dug onto. So whatever a member gets, citizens must know this. No matter how stingy that member is, because of expectations from our citizens, it is very difficult for that money to last for a month in the hands of that member. I'm sorry I'm taking your time. There was even a time I called one of my constituents that was complaining bitterly. I said, okay, this is the money I have. This is the file. One of my aides had the file of request from constituents. I said, okay, go and allocate the money. He sat down and said, wow, we didn't know that this thing is like this. And these monies are nothing. 50,000, 150, 250,000 maybe is the maximum a member is given out. But because there are so many out there in dire need, there are flurry of these requests that consumes everything. So please, I want to say this. We all know that democracy is expensive. There's no country that is not complaining cost of running a democracy. None. So we have come to a point where if we think that this democracy is too expensive, maybe it may be necessary for us to call on our ingenious political scientists to sit down and craft an alternative for us that is cheap. Of course, the Chinese know this one better. They say that cheap things no good, good things no cheap. The Igbo people have helped us to domesticate this. They say that better soup, now money kill 'em. So, but if there's anything, any system of government that they know will be cheaper than this, please, they should bring it so that we can look into it. But please, honorable colleagues, we should never allow anyone to bully us, to surrender this hard-won democracy. Never. Thank you, and God bless you.
The former Speaker, the Right Honorable Yakubu Dogara, CFR. Please, another resounding applause for him. Especially for members, if he actually did speak your mind, I would expect that the round of applause for him should come even louder, as well as the Right Honorable Aminu Bello Masari. We thank you very much indeed. I recall just not too long ago, some fictitives and emoluments of members of the House of Representatives and Senators are. One of your members got up on the floor. I think the Deputy Speaker presided that very day, Honorable Lake Bejide Joseph. And then when he spoke, they picked the part that would please them and then went to town with it. Until the full gist was released, Nigerians say, these people are earning too much. But those of us who are your aides, each time we speak with them and tell them it is not true, they don't even believe us one bit. So I think this will put some of this to rest. I'd like that we call for another round of applause for our former speakers. Thank you so very much. I recognize your presence, Andrew Nwoba, Secretary Legislative Budget and Planning, National Assembly. We welcome you, sir. As we also recognize the presence of all other colleagues of ours from the different mediums that are here covering this event. And you must also understand that this event is being transmitted live on national televisions and also streaming live on social media handles. I thank you very much. It is at this point in time that we'd like to quickly invite first of all, the Honorable Minister of Finance and the Coordinating Minister of the Economy to come give us his goodwill message. Can we please give him a resounding applause, please, as he makes his way here. Mr. Wale Edun.
The chief host of this occasion, the Right Honorable Speaker, His Excellency Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, and for the sake of brevity and to save our time, may I stand on all existing protocols. Distinguished guests and fellow citizens, I think we have heard from two very, very experienced Democrats, parliamentarians, and indeed leaders, both former speakers, the Right Honorable Masari and the Right Honorable Dogara. And we have learned from their wealth of experience. So I will just move to the celebratory, the thankful side of this all-important occasion. As we gather to celebrate the House of Representatives Legislative Open Week, we are reminded of the tremendous journey we have undertaken together in pursuit of representative democracy. This year's theme, Improving Inclusion Through Citizens' Engagement, encapsulates the essence of democracy, of building a strong democracy, and the active participation of every citizen, which is